Hi, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. I just wanted to come on today and do a quick talk on the power of the mind, and more importantly, the power of our thoughts, and how I believe, and I've seen this within my life and through my development, that what you put out, you get back, and how really the thoughts that we put out in the world are our responsibility. And I like in the seven principles of spiritualism, one of the principles is personal responsibility. We are responsible for our actions, our words, and our thoughts that we put out into the world. Because thoughts are energy, and they go around the entire planet and really affect everybody and all living beings um, on our planet. And I do believe our thoughts also affect our relationship with the spirit world. This talk sort of was born out of my continuation of deconstructing the Bible and going through the Bible and reading it through fresh eyes, looking for mediumistic phenomena and the psychic arts. And they're plentiful throughout the entire Bible if you just know how to read it and deconstruct it. But I'm reading now Romans, and this phrase, this quote from the Bible from Romans 12, chapter 2. It's really short, it's only one line, but it's be transformed by renewing your mind. And that really struck a chord with me. And it really goes into my teachings and what I hope that I'm putting out into the world, and hopefully waking people up to you can transform yourself by just changing your thoughts. You can change your entire trajectory of your life and hopefully your spiritual development, spiritual progression by just changing the thought patterns that you put out into the world. For you're going without from within yourself and to the without, not lack of without, but without out of your body. So if you can just think about what you're putting out there into the world, what are you putting out there into the world? And if you just think about your thoughts as living things, as energy, and that your thoughts affect everything across the planet, around the globe, perhaps you would start to be more careful with what you're putting out into the world. So I feel if we live in a state of constant anxiety or nervousness or fear or grief, though I understand grief and we all have it, but prolonged grief and not trying to heal through it, jealousy, anger, all of these things we're sending out into the world, and it's sort of becoming our calling card. So I certainly have had my past um, guided by negative thoughts or stress or looking at what they had and what kind of clothes or what kind of apartment and what kind of car the other people had and feeling jealous about it. But the longer I'm on this spiritual journey, the spiritual path, which does not end, I don't feel it ever ends, even when I pass from the physical realm, my spiritual progression and learning continues. But when I changed just the carelessness of my thoughts, of what I'm sending out into the world, and not thinking about what other people have and their successes, and sort of looking at my own successes and development, and also not looking at the world through the eyes of my inner child, meaning we all have things we have to heal from, and we're all sort of products of our past. And whether things that people said to us were well meaning or not so well meaning, which I've had definitely in my growing up, that feeling less than, feeling not so important, feeling what I think or what I say is not worthy of anything really, feeling worthless basically. But t- the more I go down this rabbit hole, I feel sometimes, of spiritual development, because it is, you go into one room and then a door opens to another room, and eventually if you just keep learning and keep this fire burning inside of you to learn more, to progress more, to get closer to God, to get closer to that light that we all have, your thought patterns will start to change. And the more you can just be aware of your thoughts and what you're putting out there into the world, and having more care about yourself and all living beings, you can see that the push and pull starts to take place. The laws of attractions really start to work in your favor. So there's nothing that God does without love. So the first thing I try to do at this point is I really try to move my thoughts around the power of love, the power of healing love and helping people and healing people, or being the conduit to heal people. I'm actually not healing anything. I'm just hopefully successful in becoming that vessel so the healing energies can flow from God, from the spirit world, from the healing ministries, from them through me to whomever I'm working with. But anything I do because obviously people who are watching this, it's about mediumship and spirit work. Whenever I go in to work with spirit or to work with God, I have to check my own heart. I have to make sure that my heart is really overflowing and filled with love to match the vibration of God, which is love, and it's the law of love. God is the original goodness. I'm not putting any religious identification to God. I'm not saying Jesus. I'm not saying Abraham. I'm not saying Allah. I'm just saying God in terms of spiritualism, the Great Spirit. First principle of spiritualism is the fatherhood of God. That sort of runs the spirit world and the physical world. This power, this infinite power of wisdom and love. But anything that flows through me from the spirit world, whether it be evidential, whether it be counseling or guidance, is all powered on the energy and vibration of love. So I try to just keep my thoughts as close to love as I possibly can, as close to what love is in the physical realm. I read something the other day, I believe it was in W.T. Stead's Letters from Julia, which Julia, this beautiful and rather sassy spirit woman, she talked about the main difference between the physical realm and the spirit realm is the density of love. That love in the spirit realm is just so much more than we have in the physical realm. It's an ether. Within the ether, there is love. It's like an ocean of love, I believe that she says. I'm paraphrasing, but so the amount of love that they have in spirit, because they are all spiritual beings, as we all are, but they don't have this physical form and this conscious mind to sort of fight through. It's about love. So I try to, when I work with spirit and I work with sitters or anyone that I have the honor and pleasure of working with at this point, I try to exude this energy of love. What would spirit have me do? What would God have me do? Am I being like God? Am I helping? Am I a conduit of healing? Okay. So anything you do with the spirit world and with God, you need to check your own heart first, as I said before. It's an important part and an important tool, I feel, to being a true ambassador to the spirit world here in the physical realm, is to become this mechanism of love. And the more love you put out and the more love you have for all living beings in the physical and also within spirit, because they feel our love for sure, the more I give, the more I get, right? So it's laws of attraction. The more positivity I put out, the more positivity I get. So, and I see that. I see the more I dedicate myself and my time and my life to the work of spirit, they just bless me left and right, and I can feel it. And I'm not really doing this, and I do believe that true spirit workers, ambassadors to spirit, are not doing this for what they can get, but it's a nice side effect, right? It's a nice sort of extra part of this, that the more I can put out, the more support they give me to push me forward and to create blessings on my path. And I listen to them completely. And the more I can hear and feel their guidance through listening to my spirit guide, through my intuition. Still not sure what the difference is, but I just trust them. I don't really think too much anymore. I just go, is this about love? Am I helping? Yes, go. If something comes in front of me and I'm not sure if this is really about pure love, or it benefits humanity or helps the spirit world, I just stop and wait. And usually when I'm paused in that, because I don't feel like the energy, the love, or the willingness to assist the spirit world and God, I don't feel like that opportunity matches mine, I stop and I wait. And whenever I pause, when something doesn't feel right, something always comes within a day, within 2 days, sometimes within a second or two, that shows me, I was right. And then I just move on, just keep moving, keep going within the power of love, and you'll see the spirit world and God and the universe will unfold this path for you, and you just follow it. And sometimes people always talk about the spiritual path, and I think a lot of times people think that it's like this long path, this straight path where you can see, putting distance on it, but like, measures of distance, but like miles and miles ahead. Not my path. My path is literally, there's a light about a foot ahead of me, and anything else beyond that is usually pretty hazy. And I'm not sure where it's going to go, but as soon as something's lit up in front of me, I take one step, and then something else goes a bit right. After that, I go a bit right, and then possibly straight again, then left. So it's this path, the spiritual path, that people like to talk about so much. I feel it's illuminated step by step, and it's illuminated in direct correlation to my progression. Okay, does that make sense? So it's sort of, if I'm progressing the way God and the spirit world are intending me to progress, then it all flows. There's a flow, and I'm very aware when I'm in this flow, because it all is just easy. And I'm human. I definitely have my down days, and then it just stops, and I wait. And I feel a lot of people feel when things become stagnated, or there's a pause in your development, people start to freak out, and people think, oh my God, spirit has abandoned me and nothing's happening. I'm not getting better. I'm not improving. What's going on? That's part of it. Sometimes you have to stop, and you have to allow the seed to germinate a bit more, to allow the roots to grow deeper, to allow the proper conditions. The proper conditions for spirituality is love, is faith, is positivity, is light. The same way when you plant a seed in the ground, you need to give that seed, if you want it to grow, the proper conditions of the correct soil, the correct moisture, the temperature. It's the same thing. You need to create the proper conditions for spirit to work with you fully. Okay, so just remember that. And I'm just going to take a step back, because I'm talking a lot about sending this love out into the world, to the spirit world, to God, to the universe, to other people, to all living beings. Very important. And I don't think you can really be a true spirit worker without having this compassion and this love to one another people. But another really big point of our development is taking that love and channeling it within, and working on your own healing journey. I'm a big proponent of everyone taking time to heal themselves. Harry Edwards, one of the best spirit healers of all time, it's very simplistic, but I love it. He said, heal or heal thyself. If you're going to be a healer, and by healer, you don't need to do spirit healing, trance healing, or any sort of healing, but mediumship on its own is healing, because you're helping the sitter, you're helping them heal through their grief, through their dark times, and let them understand that love never dies. The spirit never dies. You cannot kill the human spirit, and you're allowing your loved ones to bring evidence of survival of so-called death through you, through your clairs, as they impress their evidence through you, through your spirit. But that's healing, okay? But to move back to yourself, heal yourself. You are fine. You will always be okay. There's nothing that can happen to you in the physical world that can damage your spirit. And that helps me a lot. Look, we're living in the physical world. There's always going to be stress, anxiety, um, grief in terms of people or animals that we love, um, passing, for going through the physical death. But all of these things I think are meant to toughen you up and to make and to have you learn and to progress. But nothing can really destroy the human spirit. I find the only thing that makes you feel like you're being destroyed is your mind. And if you really don't move, you're really staying within the physicality of it for too long. Of course, I'm not poo-pooing people going through grief. Grief is something that is you only get in the physical realm, but learn through your grief, heal yourself through your grief. And I do believe that when you go through intense grief, you're learning how to move through it. You're never forgetting your loved ones. The love doesn't go anywhere when people or animals pass, but you're healing through it. You're taking this grief with you and you're carrying it with you for the rest of your physical life, for sure. But how are you moving forward? How are you getting up the next day? How are you surviving through this? And I then believe our mission, the point, is to help other people, help them heal from grief, help people who perhaps don't understand the power of the spirit and and what the spirit world is and how our spirit goes on and how it's a transition to a paradise from what I've been told, where we continue to learn, to live, to have fun, where we create our own reality, because the spirit world is a world of thought. They don't have physical, the matter world, but to help people. That's the point. Also to move into your own childhood trauma, drama, um, pain from even from yesterday. It doesn't have to be from childhood. How do you heal yourself through that? You are fine. The past does not define your present, and the future has yet to happen. So don't worry about the future. Worry about now. What are you waking up with in the morning? What negative thought patterns are you working with through your entire day? If they're not beneficial to your spiritual growth, and not, let's get away from spirituality for a second, if they're not beneficial to your quality of life and happiness and having fun with life, I believe we should have fun. It's certainly not a bowl of cherries here all the time, but I try to really, this is fun. I want to have fun. I want to look forward to what I'm doing. If your thought patterns are sort of hindering you, it's a hindrance to move into to happiness and to pleasure. You need to change something. I am okay. I will always be fine. What happened to me years ago, or like I just said yesterday, does not define today. What The only thing I can change is the present. The past I can't really change anything about. The present I can shift my thought patterns and hopefully heal myself. Then that moves into the future, and then sort of the future is looks really good because you're guaranteeing from your work that the future will continue to get brighter and brighter and brighter, and this is how I live. But be kind to yourself, meditate, do affirmations. I walk with God. God resides within me. I am a being of love. Love it fills me up. Whatever you want, you can create your own affirmations. Just move closer to the power of the spirit. What I found that also helped me through a lot of my self work, and I'm still going through it. It does not end. I will ask the spirit world, my guides, my loved ones in spirit, God, whatever the the eternal light of the universe, whatever you want. Ask them to channel healing to you. Healing is just not available to people that we're trying to work with as healers. Healing is available to us too, but you have to have faith in that. You have to have faith in the healing. And as I just want to conclude, I'd like to stick with faith for a second. You have to have faith. You have to have faith that everything is as it should be. Everything is worked out. There are no coincidences in this world. I don't believe this has all been worked out in the upper realms. But try to just have faith that all of these things that you're going through, perhaps not so good, perhaps not so nice, they're all meant to teach you. They're all meant to help you so you can then turn it all around and help other people. Because the point is to help each other. The point is, if we stick with spiritualism, go back to spiritualism for a second, the second principle of spiritualism is the brotherhood of man. We are all here together. So the point is to help. So try to use your power, the power of your mind, the power of your thoughts, instead of derailing yourself constantly by thinking you're not good enough, not having the faith in the spirit world and God. If you want to try to do working with the spirit world full time, just do it. Have the faith that they will work it out for you. Do it slowly. I'm not telling anyone to go quit their job at all, but make a deal with the spirit world. If you can maybe knock down a few days a week from your 9 to 5 job that might not be giving you pleasure or helping with the evolvement of your soul, of your spirit, see if you can say, okay, spirit, I'm going to knock my full-time job down to 3 days a week, leaving 2 days to work with spirit plus the weekends. And you'll see they'll start to channel energy to you. They'll start to help you, and they'll start filling your time with spirit work. But you have to have the faith and in yourself, absolutely, but also in the spirit world that they will help you. Once again, I'm just going to repeat, I'm not telling anyone to go quit their job, but I don't think that you can sit there and say, I want to work with spirit full time. I want to work with spirit full time and not meet them halfway. So even if you can just dedicate in the beginning your weekends to spirit, you'll see they'll start to channel and siphon the energy to your intentions, and it'll start to expand. It'll start to grow, because I do believe spirit energy and the energy of God, it's a living thing, and it changes and it morphs and it grows and it moves. And you just have to, it's like water. You can't control the tide of the ocean. It's going to go where it's going to go, but you can learn to just ride the wave, ride the tide, and wherever it's supposed to go, that's where you belong. Okay. So, okay, I feel like I kind of went all over the place with this, but please just be aware of your thoughts. Watch your thought pattern. Don't be so hard on yourself, because I really do feel, and I'm talking for personal experience, the way we speak to ourselves, we would never allow anyone else to speak to us that way. Okay. So we are our worst critics. So if you catch yourself in it, change it. I love myself. I am perfection in the universe's eyes. I am protected by the spirit world. I surrender myself to spirit, spirit lovingly guides me, whatever you have to do. And that sort of will get you back to the light. And the more of us that can just get back into this light and send out thoughts and intentions of love, the better the world will be. This I know for sure. And there's nothing that God does without love, ever. So let's all try to match that, and you'll see you'll see a shift. And I'm seeing a shift slowly, but I do believe that progression in the physical realm has to happen slowly. You are seeing it. We are seeing this spiritual awakening in the masses at this point. A lot of people are interested in meditation and spirituality and spiritual teachings. So it is expanding. So let's just all be there and be ready for this wave of people that are going to come and want to understand what is the spirit world? What is spirituality? What is my spirit? And the more we can prepare ourselves, we'll be there to help people. And like I said, that's the point, is to help. To help, charity to all living beings, and to love. Okay? Thank you so much. Love to you all, and have a good day.